Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, a game that is currently in early access about building and designing ships and navies and fighting them in the age of the battleship from 1890 to World War II. This is part number 8, I think, of our Let's Play series, playing as the Germans in the alpha version of the campaign, which is just limited to a British and German war against each other. And the war started in 1890. It is February of 1892, so we've been going for 2 full years now, and we're winning pretty decisively. The AI doesn't seem to be terribly strong at this point in the game's development, and we have 36,000 victory points to the British 4,400. We're playing as the Kaiser's Navy. Now, the fleets remaining currently are 6 German battleships and 2 British, 12 German heavy cruisers and 13 British heavy cruisers. They've built several new ones. 8 German light cruisers against 18 British light cruisers, 9 torpedo boats for the Germans against 29 for the Germans. We've just completed the construction of a brand new class of armored cruisers or heavy cruisers for us, 6 warships of the THG class, the THG, Limburg, Rune, Victoria, Louise, Lutzow, and Atlantis. So we're going to shift them over to sea control because they just came online. And this will ensure the ships are out at sea rather than in port. We have equipped their crews, and I think we've pretty much maxed out most of our crews. Some of these crews here are a little bit under strength. So if we take a look at, I hate the tooltips are nice, but they do get in the way kind of sometimes. So do that. If we take a look at the crew pool right now, 2,200, really? We have that many? Did I just pull some crew from other ships? It seems like that it was much lower before. So now that I set that to 520, 2,250. I swear it was like pretty much out. I've got the bad feeling that it stripped the crew from some ships that'll badly need it. I don't know if that's a mechanic or not, but all right, anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump in here. Now, we have switched our research up a bit. I did notice that it was going to take like 30 months to work on rangefinders with their current level of research, so I just dropped that research. Because the British have already indicated a few months back that they're likely to have their government collapse before too long. They're already asking for peace. So I've changed our focus for research onto internal protection, which will give us reinforced bulkheads. That'll be done in 3 months. And I've also focused on big gun research, which is 62% complete, but I'd love to get like a 13 or a 14-inch main gun for a new class of battleships that we could build. And that'd be pretty cool. So we'll see if anything comes of that. I'm not researching the third one to allow these two to research more quickly. That being said, we've got a convoy battle to start this episode off with. And so we've got 2 German light cruisers raiding a British convoy of 9 ships off the Netherlands. And we are going to be intercepted by a British heavy or armored cruiser and 2 light cruisers. So go ahead and jump in here and battle away. We probably could use a new design of light cruisers, although I honestly feel like our current class, you know, we do have new engines. We've got triple expansion engines since this class was designed. But I do feel like outside of maybe some efficiencies that might allow us to be a couple of knots faster, I'm not sure that there's a huge need for a new class of ships here. Right, we'll set the light cruiser to head west. They're already at max speed, and we'll speed up times 10. The fact that it's at times 10 indicates to me that we're not anywhere close to the enemy. We have clear weather, calm wind, smooth waves, and it is morning. So we should have pretty good visibility to hopefully spot where the enemy is. Looks like their smoke is to the west. Merchants are pretty slow, so we should be able to find them pretty quickly, I would think. And there we go. We've got a convoy, or at least one of the convoy ships straight ahead. They do have some guns. They've got a gun 4, and they've got at least 2 guns aft. to shoot back. They look small, so probably 2 or 3 inchers. Not much of a threat. We're opening fire at... oh goodness, what is our range to target? 3.5 kilometers. So again, pretty far out. We'll go ahead and set the Augsburg to the front of the convoy. We're going to go ahead and detach the Dresden, which is the second cruiser in line. Send them to the rear of the convoy. And we'll focus on the nearest ships here. We've already set the Swift to fire a little bit, but... I'm going to keep fighting on accelerated speeds and zoomed out a little bit until we uncover where the enemy warships are. So far, they're just identified as reinforcing, which means they're probably a little ways out. We're going to have some time to deal with these Murchies. All right. So you can see here we're focusing on the Swift with one of our ships and the Toreador with the other ship here. Let's hold off on firing torpedoes here also, just because this guy's already afloat, flooding and taking serious damage. Okay, we're gonna go along the broadside of this enemy ship. We have taken a couple of hits here, some minor damage. Does appear the transports have 4-inch guns, so actually equal to our own. We're taking a fair bit of flotation damage here on the Augsburg here. Alright, switch your fire then. You're going to fire a torpedo at TRF. We'll go ahead and switch your fire to Klesia. Shift your fire over there too. Alright, so we got a nice torpedo into this Merch. I think that's going to sink it, I would hope. Torpedo into the Vinchelsea? Order sinking. Your F is not sinking yet, huh? Alright, so this guy's definitely going to sink. So bring Dresden back, focus fire on this other merchant. Vinchelsea goes down. All right, we'll switch torpedoes on, turn into this other merchant. Dresden's going to cut into the convoy here. Let's focus on Eden. It's like right in front of you. Be nice if you could work both broadsides simultaneously. Maybe you can, I'm not sure. Man, we're using a lot of torpedoes here. That torpedo missed. Interesting. All right, let's slow things down a little bit. All right, the enemy warships are in sight. 2 light cruisers and an armored cruiser back here toward the rear. I would think a second torpedo should finish these guys off. Just gotta finish these 2 compartments. Keep flooding. Oh shit. I don't want you to ram. Might ram. By accident. Glancing blow. Didn't do too much damage. Alright, so not many enemy merchants left. There's actually still 2 back here to the rear. Wow, they're shooting at this guy when they've got one over here that's way closer. Alright. Obedient is probably going to get away. Shit. All right, we've got an enemy merchant. We've got an enemy cruiser already in torpedo range, so we're going to fire one off at it. And that's going to hit. So the cruiser Newfoundland. Now we'll turn away from their torpedo, which apparently our rudder is really sluggish there. I ordered the turn, but we barely moved. So we took a torpedo hit ourselves. We're going to slow down here. Newfoundland is going to survive that torpedo hit. That's what you get for playing at ×3 speed sometimes. Okay, how's this merchant doing? I should really get the other cruiser here, the Dresden, up to my other cruiser. Newfoundland is sinking though. TRF is sinking too. Focus on TRV. Stork and Stour may escape. Augsburg has survived because we've got more bulkheads, if you will. Actually, Dresden's coming up nicely on our other cruiser here. All right, TRV's sinking. Switch our fire over to Penelope. So we've got Dresden, who's got some structural damage, and Augsburg, who has not a great situation going either. The Penelope is charging. With almost no speed here, we are very vulnerable to torpedoes. I'm going to keep it at... I'm going to slow it down to ×1 so that we can immediately veer out of course if the enemy fires on us. But again, our speed here isn't great. That torpedo is going to hit Penelope, so hopefully she goes down. Torpedo hit, fire flooding, 1200 damage. Enemy torpedo in the water. We immediately turn into the fish. Turning away did not seem to help. I'm pretty sure the tactic is always to turn away, but we'll see. That's going to hit. We're going to lose Augsburg. I haven't lost a warship in a while. We got another fish away, so Penelope's for sure going to sink. Torpedo on the front. She's going down. Augsburg's dead in the water. So 2 enemy light cruisers sunk so far. We've lost one of our own, I assume. Maybe not. Augsburg is somehow still afloat at 2% flotation. We're pumping the water out here, so our damage control parties are doing their damnedest. Enemy armored cruisers turning away because we fired a torpedo at it. Augsburg's torpedo will miss, but at least our flotation situation's getting better. Meanwhile, the armored cruiser may not come back at us. So maybe we will, our light cruiser will be saved. Our damage control or our focus on bulkheads has to be massively better on our ships. They seem to sink pretty damn easily. All right, we have 2 fish left on the Dresden. Our best chance of sinking the enemy armored cruiser is via torpedoes, so we're charging into the enemy. It obviously has considerably heavier firepower with 8-inch guns. We only have, our largest guns are 4. But torpedoes are the great equalizer. Also, there's something to be said for the volume of fire, and we sure do have a lot of 4-inch guns. Good news for us is the enemy armored cruiser does not have any torpedoes, so we can really come in point blank and hit it. I'm going to try and swing around the enemy ship. Right now it can only fire its rear ship on us. Why would you switch your fire? Its rear guns, that is. I don't want to get too out along its broadside, although I guess I'm going to. I guess there's nothing I can do there because my ship can't turn for shit. Alright, we'll fire one of our broadside torpedoes. Hopefully that's a hit. I think that's going to be an easy... oh, maybe not. I was going to say, I think that'd be an easy torpedo to avoid for the enemy, but we hit the enemy cruiser amidships, and it's sinking. Hell yeah, we won that battle without losing his ship, despite taking 2 torpedoes. on our cruiser, the Augsburg. The enemy loses an armored cruiser and 2 CLs. Man, either the enemy damage control needs to get better or ours needs to get worse. I think there are some fundamental problems with the way damage is handled with regards to bulkheads. Like, I don't care how many bulkheads you put on a CL. If it takes 2 torpedoes in World War I or before, it's going down. But because you can like take torpedoes and damage compartments, and then it doesn't lower your flotation anymore. Those compartments just fill up and they get pumped right back out. Like, I don't think that's realistic. Anyway, we sank 2, 5, 6 of the enemy 9 transports, and then all their warships here. So another 3,000 victory points for just 16 of the enemy. It started out looking bad for us and ended up looking good. And that reduces their light cruiser force to 16, and we'll move forward to the next turn. We are winning. The British Empire government desperately asks us to sign a peace treaty. Screw that. We're going to keep fighting until your goddamn country falls apart. All right, so our naval superiority led us close to Dover. If we defeat their naval forces, we can damage their facilities with a bombardment. I don't know what a bombardment would do here, but it looks like we've got 2 battleships and 5 armored cruisers, all of the new THG class, against 4 enemy torpedo boats and 6 transports. This feels like it's going to be seal clubbing, but we'll see. All right. Battle line is 2 battleships. We've got 3 armored cruisers in follow, or in screen, and 2 in follow. Honestly, just throw those guys into the battle line. I don't even know why they'd be set to follow. I'd rather the CAs be in front, but whatever. The enemy's spotted to the west, which is like directly this way. Torpedo boats could definitely get away, but I'm more worried about the transports. I think, well, I guess we'll see. I also don't know, like, does the game really simulate damaging facilities if you have a bombardment? I doubt it. But that would be cool, like if you go and bombard a port, and if ships are being built there, maybe it would delay their construction or something. Where are they at? Incoming fire from somewhere. The armored cruisers can make 20 knots, so let's detach. Well, not detach. Let's switch these guys to steady. Let them crank up their speed, and then they can move forward here. It looks like we've got a torpedo boat based on the fact that it's moving quickly. Oh man, look at all this fire converging on the enemy torpedo boat. The problem is the enemy torpedo boats are so goddamn durable. They're well outside torpedo range for the moment. Another warship on the other side here. Meanwhile, some ships are colliding. Looks like there's some of my cruisers. Because I'm paying attention. I really am. Are we going to hit this guy at all? How many guns are going to shoot into the damn thing? Engine's damaged. Another engine damaged. Oh, ammo detonation fire. Sink, sink, sink. Oh shit. Did he get torpedoes away? No, we fired torpedoes at him. This thing should be sinking already. The fact that it's not is a disgrace. Meanwhile, the other 3 enemy torpedo boats appear to be on the other side. Look at the fire. Stem to stern on this damn thing. Hagen's going to be in trouble if the enemy can get its torpedoes around on it. Unless they fired any off toward the rear. Okay, structure's at 40, floats at 36. One of its torpedo tubes is at least destroyed. It looks like the second one may be yellow. Shit. What are you shooting at? Turn into it. I think that's your best chance. A turn away, I think, would be doom for a hit, but if you turn into it, you might avoid it. So it looks like the Osprey, the lead of the other enemy torpedo boat squadron, fired one at us. At the THG itself, how dare it. And the torpedo missed. Thanks to my evasive action, they're out of torpedoes, so I guess they had already fired one other one. How is Stag now? Okay, Stag is finally sinking. I think I just fired a torpedo at the enemy torpedo boat. Fire at the Mermaid. Firing a torpedo onto the oncoming enemy ship. Osprey's trying to avoid my torpedo. It failed. Boom. Shit. The enemy just fire at me? Why did I got an exclamation point? Oh shit, it did. Turn away. Turning into it will not work on this one. Mermaid, I think, was hit by a torpedo as well. THG is going to take a hit. Now, one of the things with the THG class, they still have 7-inch guns like the previous class. They don't have the rear 5-inch turret. And so, as a result of that change, they have more 4-inchers. But the main difference with the THG, in theory, is that it's supposed to be more survivable. It has more bulkheads. It also has considerably better speed at 20 knots. So again, the theory behind the class is that it's supposed to be a much better class for fighting enemy warships. We can see here that we are suffering a high amount of flotation damage from a single torpedo, which is historically accurate for an armored cruiser of this era. The Osprey still isn't sunk. But hopefully it will survive. You can see it is not quite capsizing, but I think any real ship tilting over this far would probably be too far gone and would sink. Looks like we've stabilized our flooding at under 20% and are now going the right direction. And so 2 of the remaining enemy torpedo boats have no torpedoes left. The Python appears to be fleeing. They fired 1 torpedo. They have 1 left. So it may be running away. Which we will never catch that if it is. All right, you detach. Go fight the fucking Osprey. Mermaid is taking considerable damage. We'll speed things up. None of the ships near me have torpedoes. Okay, Osprey's flooding again. Alright, she's sinking. Mermaid is the primary focus of our fire now. Victoria Louise is on fire. Limburg's gonna try and go charge into this torpedo boat. In the event it doesn't sink, we'll ram it. I think it'll sink. We'll see. Looks like we're gonna get a ram in. Ram! Alright, I would think that'll sink it. Yep. Alright, so I don't know where the other enemy torpedo boat went. I think one of them is going to escape, and then we should be able to get the rest of the merchants here. So there's 6 merchants. We'll have our battleship task force just sail in amongst them. They can't escape. Our battleships are too fast. The merchants are too slow. So this should just be mopping up unless the enemy torpedo boat tries to come after us. We aren't going to sink all of the enemy ships, so the objective there will fail. But we'll get most of them. We already sank the Laird, the rear ship there. Cardiff is the next ship in line. Battleships, remember, only have 9-inch guns. We went the historical route and went light on the main armament. Could send these 2 cruisers off in the other direction to try and find the enemy merchant or torpedo boats, but I doubt they will. The enemy's going to run and try and retreat. And then shell into a merchant ship. They're going to sink fast. Those 9-inchers sink the enemy merchants so much faster than the 7-inchers. Cardiff is already sinking. I got to keep that in mind if I build a merchant rating armored cruiser or heavy cruiser later on. It seems like 7-inchers are too light based on my experience, but 9 or maybe even 8-inchers seem to be ideal for the purpose. I wonder if the game models ammunition between battles. It obviously models ammunition during battles, but I haven't paid enough attention to see if it models ammunition consumption and like persistence of ships at sea versus, you know, when they return to port. If you've got to switch a ship from sea control over to in being so that it returns to port to replenish on ammo, or if it just automatically replenishes between turns. I'm not sure. I haven't paid enough attention to that. All right, Searcher is hit or is damaged. Cruisers are sailing off in the last known direction of the enemy torpedo boat. We spotted the, I think, what did they have? 6 merchants, and we've sunk 2. So we spotted the, and this is the 3rd, so we spotted the 4th in line here. They appear to all be just in line, sailing away from us. This battle should be good for the armored cruisers' experience levels if they get in a more even fight. Okay. Which ships are firing? Like, I guess our armored cruisers are pestering them with secondary. I was gonna say, because most of our casemates on this lead battleship can't bear. Alright, that should do it. Its flotation is hovering between 1% and 2%. Alright. So we'll switch our fire to the Tormentor. Tormentor's name for a merchant ship is pretty funny. How far away from them are we? 3.7 kilometers. And closing fast. Let's speed up to ×5. Still no sign of the enemy torpedo boats for our cruisers, which are sailing off. I don't think enemy warships can move off map. Meanwhile, our THG is okay. Victoria Louise detach. Sail off that way at flight speed. Really need a faster battleship, but I need to get those dockyards done so that I can actually build something with more tonnage. A lot of shells flying all over the Tormentor, but she just took her first hit. 5-inch shell. There was a second 5-inch shell, so 5-inch guns. Where's it coming from? Oh yeah, our battleships do have 5-inch guns. 2 fore, 2 aft 5-inch gun turrets. And then we've got the, I think, the final merchant up here. I'm hoping these cruisers get to the edge of the map over there, because there is an edge that you can't sail past. So maybe they'll get over there and spot the enemy torpedo boat. Or something. I don't know where they went. But I want to say we're onto the final transport. I'm it's just going to be the torpedo boat that's left for us to hit. Nice 9-inch shell there, opening things up here against the Lion. Historically was a famous battle cruiser. Now she's just a lowly merchant. I'd rather they just give merchants numbers or something, or letters. I know it's a minor thing, but it kind of annoys me when merchants have, like, famous warship names. You'd think maybe they'd be like, let's hang it up, guys. Let's surrender. Let's wave our flag. Lower our flag. Okay. Nice gunnery practice here, though. Using up lots of expensive big shells, but gunnery practice nonetheless. And she's sinking. Enemy smoke spotted to the east, so way behind us. East of what, though? Because direction is relative, right? Also, I must not be too far if I'm at ×5 speed. I think. From that last enemy torpedo boat. Man, they were taking forever on the THG. Oh, now we got ×10. Damn. To the east of what? Which ship is seeing the smoke? Because the damn torpedo boats are freaking fast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to spot anything. If only they hadn't run away. Nonetheless, still did some damage to their torpedo boat squadrons and obviously to their merchants as well. So I guess we go ahead and end this battle here. All right. End the battle. Victory for the Germans, 733 victory points versus 64. The THG did suffer moderate damage, but the enemy lost 3 torpedo boats and apparently 5 out of 6 merchants, not all 6. Port damage, Dover, 10,700. Okay. What does that mean? So the port's damaged. Does it reduce its capacity? There's only 1 light cruiser there anyway. Now that we destroyed those ships. Convoy battle off the Irish coast. 1 British transport versus 1 CL. Let's go for it. Man, if they can only muster 1 CL, they're going to be in trouble. And we're instantly in contact with the enemy, by the way. Let's focus on the merchant ship here. See if we can quickly sink it while we turn in to close the range. And we'll go for the enemy CL. So a CL versus CL and then a merchant on the enemy side. Is this a new CL design? Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 turreted main guns. The main guns appear to be 5-inchers, but like in a triple across form in the front. Turrets generally are better than shielded guns, which is what I'm sporting, but that's still wild. I think that's a new class of ships for them. Only 4 torpedoes in the ship. Presumably 4 tubes underwater like us, but then no reloads. Archers getting pounded heavily. Their crew, if it's a new crew, they're not very good at gunnery compared to us. And the torpedoes in the water. Port Archer. She's already flooding pretty heavily without torpedoes. She's going to sink. Mission accomplished. All right, let's double back. Instantly, our first salvo against the Belfast is a hit. You know, they're going to turn away from me. Are they faster than me? They can make 17 knots. I can make 20. 21. They can't escape. So they haven't hit me yet. I guess they got one minor hit near the stern that didn't do any damage. Meanwhile, we've already inflicted 40% flotation on them in our first salvo. I like the fact that they have 5-inch guns and their ship is so heavy. But the center turret here doesn't make any sense except in a chase. Neither does this rear turret, because these two turrets can't traverse at all. So it's kind of a funny allocation of gunnery. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the turrets. I'd rather just save the armor and get more guns. I also like the rapid fire ability of the 4-inchers, so I kind of am skewed toward the German design, which, wow, shocker. Someone likes the ship they designed better than the AI, but if I could redesign my ship with 5-inchers instead of 4 outside of turrets, I would do it. But I think at the 5-inch level, everything switches into turrets or main batteries. Belfast, meanwhile, is at below 50% flotation. As we continue to pummel her with our rapid firing guns, are coming in behind her, trying to rake her a little bit. Just got to stay out. They are pumping the water out. Got to stay out of the torpedo range or arc of the enemy, I think. Although with the heavier guns, you would think you'd want to close range and launch torpedoes, but given that the enemy crew appears to be green, or at least not terribly good, as witnessed by their inability to hit, 4% versus 15% for my ship. You know, obviously I think we want to take advantage of our, what, almost quadruple accuracy. So pounding the rear of the Belfast, she's flooding again. And she's going to go down. I need one more compartment hit. There we go. Belfast is sinking, and that should do it. That wins the battle for us. Another victory. More enemy ships sunk. One more merchant. One more light cruiser. And so the enemy is down to 16 light cruisers and whatever impact that merchant loss has on them. We'll move forward to April. War continues. And it looks like we have another port strike. This one is at Yarmouth. 3 German battleships this time. 3 armored cruisers versus single CL and 3 TBs. We are just Copenhagening the enemy. And then we've also got a strike mission down here. Unless this is the same one. I'm not sure. What if we auto-resolve? I'm just curious. It's a draw. So we auto-resolve. We get some points for transport sinking. The British inflict medium damage on the Frederick de Grosser and light damage on the Hagen, heavy damage on the Kaiser. Medium damage on their light cruiser, the Edinburgh, heavy damage on the torpedo boats, Decoy, Quail, light damage on the Thrasher, and obviously we must have sunk some of their merchants. We've developed the Minesweeper cruiser, which I don't really care about. And then we have another convoy battle. But do we do any damage to Yarmouth? So I guess the damage to Dover was a 1-month thing, because last month it said 10,000 damage to Dover and then 15,000 port capacity. Now it says the port capacity is 26,000. So it must just reduce the amount that the port can hold, I guess. But we'll see how the war shapes out in our next episode. We are working on big guns. We're 18 months away from 13-inch guns. That's kind of never going to happen. We get internal protection increases by 1, or increases to reinforced bulkheads next month. So I think we'll design a new class of ships next month, maybe. Maybe some light cruisers with better protection. You know what? Screw it. Let's just see what happens if we auto-resolve this. Victory. So I auto-resolve this. Medium damage to armored cruiser and light cruiser. Light damage to the enemy armored cruiser. and Hermes, and we sank the light cruiser Superb, and then also sank some transports. So another victory for us now on the auto-resolve front. Move forward to May. There's a battle. Why are we battling near Spain? Let's see how the THG class does on an auto-resolve. A draw. Medium and heavy damage, respectively. So you can see the battles are much less decisive when you auto-resolve. The British are also building new armored cruisers, so they're sticking around. But overall, things are going well for us. We do have some cash set aside. We do have some new research complete. So I think what we'll do here, let's go ahead and drop that. It'll speed up big guns to 13 months. But let's go ahead and we'll wrap this particular episode up, and we'll see if we can finish the war off next turn. Seems like the British are on their last legs. Their fleet is recovering a little bit through some construction. They also built a new battleship. So perhaps we should look at doing that as well. We also completed our 11,000-ton docks. So to do another 1,000 tons at 12 months. But now we can build up to an 11,000-ton battleship, which will be about 2,000 tons heavier than our previous one. So we could probably put heavier guns on them with comparable protection, I would think. But yeah, we'll figure that out next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down below. And as always, until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching this episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. And until next time, I'm out.